What's the word, ladies and gentlemen, today? Well, I guess the word is Phantom, everyone's most hated or most loved quote-unquote ninja class in Dirty Bomb. I'm sure you guys already know all about him, or at least know the basic concept of how Phantom works, but I guess this video is going to be more targeted for people who haven't yet purchased them, either with cash or credits. So the question is Phantom worth it? Well, first off, I want to point out that for those who don't have them, you can actually test them out for yourselves without actually buying him. You do this through console commands in the offline servers. I've had the privilege of working on a guide on how to test out Merc's weapons abilities with Yazeth, and I've updated the guide with a code for Phantom. I'll go ahead and link it in the description so you can see for yourself. Anyways, guys, in this video, I don't want to go into too much into the exact numbers and stats and all that, because I'm pretty sure they'll change Phantom at least a little bit, like any Merc that comes out. But as it stands, currently he has 120 HP, but the downside is that he doesn't run extremely fast or anything, so if you're trying to melee people to death with your Katana, they may be a little bit difficult, especially if they notice you and if they're running away. The Refractive Armor is pretty sweet for Phantom. It doesn't make him completely invisible, but you do kind of have to keep an eye out for him if you're playing against a Phantom. There are a couple of things that players who don't own Phantom just yet may not know about it, and I'll go ahead and put them on the screen here, but in case if you don't feel like reading, I'll just go through them. You can reload while you're cloaked. You can also regenerate health while you're cloaked, and you can also receive ammo. However, the things you can't do with the cloak on is that you can't help up a teammate while you are invisible, you can't do objectives, and you can't go invisible at all when Vassili's heartbeat sensor has detected you. I feel like overall the cloak does offer some really interesting gameplay. It can act as a way to flank people, obviously, but you could also use it to escape because it provides you some extra HP when you activate it. However, I would be careful on depending on this, because if you're inexperienced with its activation time, which isn't terribly long, it is pretty noticeable and it could get you killed if you time it wrong. Another interesting thing about the cloak is that you can use it aggressively as like a gap closer, and while I'm not just talking about flanking on unaware enemies, using his Katana, you can actually two-shot most Mercs in the game. The numbers of the exact stats may change, so I'm not going to include them here, but I've been in matches where Phantoms have bum rushed me and did some crazy wall jumps to dodge my fire while they're invisible, even though I can see them, and because they have tanked half my bullets, they're still able to get up close to me and double melee to me to death. It's pretty annoying, I must say. Another thing about the Refractive Armor is that when I'm playing Phantom and people notice me and they do shoot at me, I don't get punished for being caught off guard because the cloak soaks up quite a bit of damage, which gives me time to react and shoot back. And I mention this because it's pretty in stark contrast to the Infiltrator cloak in PlanetSide 2, where you have to manually uncloak before you can fire and you don't actually absorb any damage if you're getting shot at. So I guess at this point you're wondering if Phantom is super OP, and you know that's a question I feel weird answering because everyone has their own opinion, but this is sort of my opinion from playing as him and against him. So is Phantom OP? Yes and no. I mean, his Katana is really strong and can one-shot a lot of Mercs out there. His cloak is also very strong, so I wouldn't mind seeing nerfs, at least some small nerfs on that. But with all that said and done, I feel like Phantom has very little utility besides sneaking to objectives, you know, and he's probably better suited for larger maps where he can properly flank people as opposed to those smaller ones where they funnel people into a small space and he's easy to notice. As far as competitive play, you know, I don't know how viable he is. He doesn't have any sort of recon tools like Vassili has. At least Vassili has a heartbeat sensor where you can spot people for the team. I wouldn't mind if I saw a Phantom or a change for Phantom in the future where they brought down the HP of the shield for the cloak a little bit, or maybe made it more visible, or maybe give him 100 base HP in exchange for some sort of utility slot, maybe some sort of hacking ability that makes objectives 30% longer to complete for the opposite team or something like that. Obviously it wouldn't stack or anything, but that's just sort of my ideas. I mean, with all that said, is Phantom worth it? Purely for fun factor, yes, he is very fun to play. I purchased him with credits, but I would have been fine with just dropping $10 for him. Phantom sort of brings a new type of gameplay style. It's a different type of way to play the game. You probably will piss a lot of people off by buying him and using the melee. Again, I'll link the guide on how to test out different Mercs in the description, so you can check that out if you are interested. Anyways guys, I hope you found this video insightful. Please be sure to hit that like button, and if you would want to take a look around my channel, I do tons and tons of Dirty Bomb videos, so subscribe if you would like to see more. Until next time guys, I'll see you on the battlefield.